In the quiet town of Barrow-in-Furness, Cumbria, a storm was brewing, one that would shatter lives, fuel racial tensions, and expose a web of deception. This is the true story of Eleanor Williams, whose fabricated allegations of SA, trafficking, and abuse unraveled with devastating consequences. Born on November 26, 2000, Eleanor Williams grew up in a troubled household. With her parents separated and a strained relationship with both her mother and stepfather, Eleanor's early years were marked by emotional turmoil and self-harm. Seeking independence, she moved into her own flat on Walney Island, a decision that would precede a cascade of false claims. At the age of 16, during a casual gathering at a friend's house, Eleanor made her first serious allegation. She claimed that a man referred to in court simply as C had not only taken advantage of her, but had also threatened her with unspeakable acts. Hospitalized after the incident, she told staff she had been SA'd, even alleging that C had threatened to set his dog on her and dispose of her body in his garden or at sea. Within weeks, C was arrested. He denied all accusations, stating that during an informal event at his house, Williams became drunk and smoked cannabis, and she became very sick. He, along with others, called for her to be picked up, concerned for her safety. Williams's mother collected her, taking her to hospital. As doubts emerged, Eleanor withdrew her support for the prosecution. C was released after being interviewed, and the case faded into the background. By early 2019, Eleanor's fabrications grew bolder. In March, following a night out, she accused Jordan Trengrove, a young man she had spent the evening with, of assaulting her. Eleanor's account detailed a brutal assault, complete with threats and physical violence. Police arrested and interviewed Trengrove before he was bailed. Just a few months later, in May, she reiterated her claims, alleging that Trengrove had once again invaded her personal space, threatening her with a knife and assaulting her in her flat. The consequences were immediate. Trengrove was arrested and held for 73 agonizing days, his reputation shattered by allegations that, as investigations would later reveal, were entirely baseless. In June 2019, Williams was reported missing a number of times, being located each time by police. When police located her, Williams was either intoxicated through alcohol or drugs or had injuries, including bruising. Police had significant concerns in regards to this. Williams was further interviewed by police in July 2019, disclosing further allegations. She stated that when she was younger, she attended parties at houses where older men were present. She stated that she was introduced to a male known as Rami when she was 12 years old, and that she had worked in his Indian restaurant. Rami was local businessman Mohammed Ramzan. Williams stated that he began grooming her, allegedly told her that he loved her and she was special, which Williams told police made her think that she was his girlfriend. She went on to tell them horrific tales of being trafficked to Amsterdam and Ibiza, forced to work in brothels, and even auctioned off for money. She stated that Ramzan would take her to parties, where there were other girls, and she met other men in Barrow, Rochdale, and Oldham, and other places. She wrote the names of 60 girls who she had been to addresses with. Many were verified by police as living in Barrow. These claims, laden with explicit details of abuse and exploitation, led to the arrest of Ramzan. He denied the offense, denying that he knew Williams or had been to the places where she said he had been. After 36 hours in police custody, Ramzan was released on bail. After this, a major investigations team was set up in regards to the Williams allegations. In the meantime, police temporarily moved Williams out of Barrow to a hotel close to Kendal Police Station, arranging for Williams to have a job there. Williams had previously refused to participate in a witness protection program. Williams made a further allegation that she had been trafficked to the Blackpool area around 30 June 2019. Williams stated she had been getting messages stating that she was to get on the train to Blackpool. She described to police locations in Blackpool with specific details of the layout of the addresses, including drawing pictures of places. Police believed that she had been to the locations from the way she could describe them in detail. One of the officers that drove Williams to Blackpool was surprised that Williams could not provide details in relation to the addresses and hoped that driving around the Blackpool area they may go past somewhere that looked familiar to Williams. He later stated that he found it unusual that Williams displayed no emotion and at no point got upset. At the end of driving around Blackpool, police had no leads in their investigation. The officer driving Williams later stated that this was the first time that he had doubts as to whether what Williams was saying had happened. Williams' discrepancies in Blackpool in relation to suspicions about whether what she was saying had happened had occurred were shared by other officers. Police uncovered that Williams had made a booking at a hotel she had named 2 nights previously on Booking.com. They found that Williams arrived at the hotel at 8:20 p.m., finding CCTV footage of her arriving on her own, checking in before going to her room. After staying in the room for approximately an hour, Williams was seen on CCTV to leave the hotel and attend 2 local shops. This was contrary to what Williams had told police was happening around that time, stating that she had been driven around to various locations in Blackpool, being assaulted by force. Having left the local shops, Williams returned to the Savoy Hotel, where the door of the hotel room, which had digital key access, was shown to not have opened for 24 hours. Police realized that Williams had been lying about what had occurred. An inquiry team went door to door to speak to the girls that Williams had alleged had been at the parties she had been at, who had been victims of sexual exploitation. Not one of them were found to have been a victim, with the girls and their parents being shocked at police speaking to them. CCTV footage contradicted her account. Instead of being assaulted, she was seen checking into a hotel room, spending most of her time alone, buying a simple snack and watching videos. Her story of being violently dragged from the hotel and attacked was entirely inconsistent with the digital and physical evidence. The tipping point came on May 20, 2020. In a viral Facebook post that would ignite nationwide controversy, Eleanor shared graphic images of her injuries, bruises, cuts, and a partially severed finger. In her post, she claimed she had been abducted and brutally assaulted by a group of Asian men. The post spread rapidly, amassing over 100,000 shares, and sparked protests, public outcry, and even violence against innocent local businesses. Yet behind the facade of horror, detectives began noticing glaring inconsistencies. CCTV footage from Tesco showed Eleanor purchasing a claw hammer on May 11, 2020. The same type of tool later found near her when police located her injured in a field. Forensic tests confirmed the hammer bore her DNA, linking it directly to the injuries she claimed were inflicted by unknown assailants. As police meticulously reviewed evidence, the discrepancies piled up. Eleanor's mobile phone records revealed that messages she presented as threats were, in fact, sent from accounts she had created herself. Investigators traced her digital footprint through fake social media profiles and discovered that she had been messaging herself to fabricate evidence. With each piece of evidence, be it the CCTV, the forged messages, or the forensic tests, the police pieced together the undeniable truth. Eleanor had orchestrated an elaborate deception to falsely accuse innocent men. The consequences of Eleanor's lies were far-reaching. Jordan Trengrove, wrongfully branded an offender, faced public vilification. His home was vandalized with derogatory graffiti, and he endured relentless abuse threats that drove him to the brink of ending his time on this earth. His life, once ordinary, was transformed into a daily battle for dignity and sanity. Mohammed Ramzan, too, suffered irreparable harm. His reputation was tarnished, his businesses ruined, and the trauma of his unwarranted arrest left him scarred, both physically and emotionally. He even attempted to end his time on Earth, overwhelmed by the relentless pressure and public backlash. Local Asian business owners and community members became collateral damage, with hate crimes and vandalism erupting across Barrow. Shops were targeted, vehicles smashed, and families threatened, all on the basis of Eleanor's fabricated allegations detailed in her vital Facebook post. In October 2022, Eleanor Williams stood trial at Preston Crown Court on charges of perverting the course of justice. The Crown prosecutor presented a mountain of evidence: forged social media messages, CCTV footage, forensic reports, and eyewitness testimonies. The jury had little doubt. In March 2023, Eleanor was found guilty on 9 counts and sentenced to 8.5 years in prison. Judge Robert Altham's verdict was a resounding condemnation of a web of lies that had torn a community apart. His remarks underscored the profound harm inflicted on innocent lives and the enduring impact on public trust in the justice system. The case of Eleanor Williams is a stark reminder of the destructive power of false allegations. Her elaborate deceptions not only ruined the lives of the men she falsely accused, but also ignited racial tensions and widespread fear within a once close community. For the victims, the scars remain reminders of a time when truth was sacrificed on the altar of deceit. As law enforcement and communities continue to heal, this case reinforces a critical lesson. While it is essential to support genuine victims of abuse, rigorous investigations must always underpin accusations to protect innocent lives from being unjustly destroyed. In Barrow and Furness, the echoes of Eleanor's lies still reverberate, a cautionary tale of how a single false narrative can unravel an entire community, leaving behind wounds that may never fully heal. Thank you for watching this in-depth exploration of the Eleanor Williams case. If you enjoyed this video and found this documentary informative, please like and subscribe for more content like this, mysterious events, and more. Until next time, please stay safe out there, and as always, stay curious.